Hello guys, we now continue our 10-part Guild Kids unboxing video. So currently we are already at the 6th guild. So today we will take part on a guild which may be the embodiment of life and death in the plane of Ravnica. They grow trees and flowers from decaying corpses and rotten carcasses. The guild that I'm talking about is the one you are seeing now at your screen, the Golgari Guild. So before that, we will take again one pack from here and thank those people that made this video possible. So again, we will thank Mr. Junel Dumlao of Ordo Online Hobby Shop and Card Shop for this Commander Legend pack. Before opening anything, we will also like to thank Mr. J.R. Shan Kekorian of Nisa and Hikaru Hobby and Card Shop for our guild kit today. So we have the Golgari guild kit, which is held by Izunai or Izuni 1000 Eye. So this one is a new art. So Izunai or Izuni is a new legendary creature that was only revealed to us during the second visit, or considered as the third step at the Ravnica plane. So this one. So just the same, you will also get what contents of the past boxes were or guild kits were, except for the emblem or mark of the Golgari guild. So here it says Golgari Swarm. So welcome to the Golgari Swarm. This box contains everything you need to know or you need to draw upon the cyclical powers of life and death to destroy our enemies. Then let your foes fear the wrath of the underworld, it says here. So now we will be opening our 6th guild kit. So Golgari, or the green and black colored mana symbols or mana, is one of, I think, use for my commander a lot. So I have a Moldrota, a Meren, a Hapatra, and other Golgari team also deck with additional 1 color or 2 colors. So here we get the deck box, like some other guild kits also, but with the emblem of the Golgari. Then we have the sticker and the insert. So we'll read what the Golgari says here. So practices of the Golgari Swarm. Says here, waste nothing. Seek value in what others discard. Then that is no excuse to abandon your responsibilities. Take pride in the decay that fills our kingdom. The gleaming, pointless bubbles prized by the surface dwellers will never nourish new life. Fear neither death nor darkness, for they can be your greatest allies. Then the other side, they said, if anyone should overlook or underestimate you, let them. An enemy unaware of your true power is much easier to defeat. Then honor the insects that humbly perpetuate the perfect cycle of life and death. And you are now a part of the swarm, a hand that enacts the wild of a greater body. Every action you take should serve the interests of the guild, so that we may all rise together. So I think this is also the guild that, or where Vraska came from. So here, Uzunai is the one in the picture. Now we also have the guild mark 20-sided dice. So it looks awesome also because it's a black and green motif 20-sided dice. Then lastly we have the guild pin. Now we have our legendary creature. So Izunai or Izuni, Thousand Eyes, who helm the box. So Izunai or Izuni, Thousand Eyed, is a 6 to cast 2/3 legendary creature, Elf Shaman. So it has the ability Undergrowth, the current ability of the Golgari guild. So Undergrowth, when this enters the battlefield, we create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token for each creature card in our graveyard. It has also pay Golgari color green and black. Sacrifice another creature, then we gain life and draw a card. So we draw engine and a sacrifice engine also. So it can be this card can be paid with 2 generics and 2 sets of the Golgari colors. So 2 black and 2 green. There you go. So before we open our deck, our pre-con deck, let's set aside again this other items, so at least we have place to put our cards. There. And Izunai. And we start with Deathrite Shaman here. So Deathrite Shaman is a 1 to cast 1/2 creature Elf Shaman. So the mana cost can be paid with either of the Golgari colors, so green or black. And it has tap this creature, exile target land card from a graveyard, then we add 1 mana any color to our mana pool. Then also has here a pay 1 black, then tap also this creature, exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard, then each opponent will lose 2 life. Then last ability is pay green mana and tap this creature, so we can exile a target creature card from a graveyard and we gain 2 life. Next we have a Lootlet Troll. So Lootlet Troll is a 2 to cast 2/1 creature zombie troll to be paid with the Golgari colors. So it has trample, and I think this is the Golgari grave troll when it died. So it trample also, so it has the ability to discard a creature card, then we put a +1/+1 counter on this one, and also a generate ability by playing or paying 1 black. So Flavor Text says he lurks in the Undercity, eager for the corpse haulers to unload the rotting cargo. Next we have Charnel Troll. So Charnel Troll is a 3 to cast 4/4 creature troll. So 1 generic and 1 of the Golgari set of mana. So it has also trample. Then at the beginning of our upkeep, we exile a creature card from our graveyard. Then if we do, we put a +1/+1 counter on Charnel Troll. Or otherwise, you need to sacrifice this one. Then he has also the ability, we pay the Golgari color, discard a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on Charnel Troll. Next here we have is Deadbridge Goliath. So Deadbridge Goliath is a 4 to cast 5/5 creature insect. So 2 generic and 2 green. So it has the ability Scavenge. Scavenge is a second ability that was introduced to us for the Golgari guild during our second visit to the Ravnica Plain. So Scavenge here is 6 to cast, so 4 generic and 2 green. So it says this one, you pay the cost, then exile this card from our graveyard, then we put a +1/+1 counter equal to this card's power on target creature. So when we exile this one, we put 5 +1/+1 counters in a target creature in our battlefield. So we can only do Scavenge in main phase, so only as a sorcery. Then says here, some Golgari insects live for centuries and they never stop growing. So this one has already mushroom sprouting from its back for being too old. Next we have a legendary creature. So Sabra, Queen of the Golgari, 6 to cast 2 legendary creature, Elf Shaman. So 2 generic and 1 set of the Golgari colors. Then whenever we sacrifice a black creature, we pay 2 life, or we can pay 2 life. If we do, each player or each other player sacrifices a creature also. And whenever we sacrifice a green creature, we can also gain 2 life. So Sabra says here, nature's most raw beauty is the circle, perfect in its continuance with no break between death and life. So Sabra, Golgari Queen or Queen of the Golgari, was the first one legend, or one of the legend spoiled from our first introduction to Ravnica, City of Guilds. And I think Sabra was already replaced by the Planeswalker Braska, because she has already the card in Ravnica Allegiance, I think, Braska Golgari Queen. So I think she already replaced Sabra here. Next we have Jarad, Golgari Lich Lord. So Jarad Golgari Lich Lord is a 4 to cast 2/2 legendary creature, zombie elf. So you need to pay this one with 2 sets of the Golgari colors. So this card gets +1/+1 for each creature card in our graveyard, and it has also the activated ability of 3 to cast or 3 to pay, 1 generic and 1 set of Golgari colors. Then we sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Then also an activated ability, sacrifice a swamp in a forest. We can return Jarad from our graveyard to our hand. So Jarad also, I think, is one of those, if I'm correct, my memory serves me right, is one of those legendary creature was introduced to us during our second visit to Ravnica, City of Guilds. Next here we have is Graveshell Scarab. So Graveshell Scarab is a 5 to cast 4/4 creature insect, 2 generic and 1 set of Golgari color and another green. So it has an activated ability that can be paid 1 generic, sacrifice this card, then withdraw a card. And it has also the ability Dredge 1, the first ability that was introduced to us for the Golgari Guild during our first visit or introduction to the Ravnica City of Guilds. So here it has Dredge 1. So if we would draw a card instead, we may put exactly 1 card or equal to the dredge cost or dredge number, exactly 1 card from the top of our library into our graveyard. If we do, we can return this card to our from our graveyard to our hand. Otherwise, we draw a card. So we can replace our draw with returning cards with dredge abilities. Next one we have a Hatchery Spider. So it's a 7 to cast 5/7 creature spider that has reach. So this one can be paid with generic and 2 green mana. So it has the ability Undergrowth. Same with Izunai. So Undergrowth here is when you cast this spell, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You may put a green permanent card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So there you go. Next we have another legendary creature, Sisters of Stone Death. So Sister of Stone Death is a 6-2 cast, or rather 8-2 cast, 7-5 legendary creature Gorgon. So same as Braska. So 4 generic and 2 sets of Golgari colors. It has 3 abilities. First one is can be paid with green. So target creature blacks Sister of Stone Death this turn if able. Second ability is a set of Golgari color. Exile target creature blocking or blocked by Sisters of Stone Death. Then the last ability is 3 to cast or 3 to activate. So 2 generic and 1 black. It says here, put a creature card exiled with Sisters of Stone Death onto the battlefield under our control. Next we have Abrupt Decay. So Abrupt Decay is a 2-2 cast instant. So a set of Golgari colors. So this spell cannot be countered. And it destroy target non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. So this one is useful also in modern decks. So it says here, the EZ quickly suspended their policy of lifetime guarantees. Next we have Dead Bridge Chant. It's a mythic that costs 6 and is H enchantment. So 4 generic and 1 set of Golgari colors. So when this enters the battlefield, we mill 10 cards. Then at the beginning of our upkeep, we choose a card at random from our graveyard. Then if it's a creature card, we put it into the battlefield immediately. Otherwise, we put it into our hand. Next we have here is Gaze of the Granite. So Gaze of the Granite is a X spell with 1 set of Golgari mana and 1 additional black. So this is a sorcery that destroys each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to the payment of the X. So says here, Golgari claimers resent the Gorgons, begrudging the loss of so many fine nutrients locked away in stone. So this is our last rare of the box. So next one we have here is the tokens. So we have 5 tokens here of Golgari colored insect. At the back, it's a monocolored or a green colored sapling. Now we will venture into our commons and uncommons of the box. So here we have Elves of Deep Shadow, 2 apiece, a Glow Spore Shaman, 2 Corros the Guildmage, a Plague Crafter. We also have Stinkweed Imp, a Shambling Shell, which is also our first word, Shambling. So Shambling Shell is a 3-2 cast 3-1 creature plant zombie. So 1 generic and 1 set of Golgari colors. Then we sacrifice this card, put a +1/+1 counter on the target creature. So it has also the Dredge 3 ability. So we can get this one again from the graveyard to our hand if we will mill 3 instead of drawing a card. So next we have Islam Reaper, a Rhizome Lurker, a Golgari Fine Broker, a 2 copies of Dark Blast, a Necrotic Wound. Then we have a Golgari Signet, which I think we will use as our second word. So our second word will be Signet. Although this is our 6th box already, we didn't use yet Signet as representation for our words that to be searched. So this one will be our second word, Signet. So Golgari Signet is a 2-2 cast artifact that has the ability that we pay 1 generic and tap this one, it will produce the Golgari colored set. So just the same with the other Signet or Guild Signet, only difference is the color they produce. Then says here, depending on your point of view, the seal represents a proud guardian of the natural cycle, or one who has sold her soul to darkness for eternal life. Next we have Drown in Filth, then Golgari Charm, a Grisly Salvage, a Treasure Find, Putrefy, which is also our third word, Putrefy. So Putrefy is a 3 to cast instant, 1 generic and 1 set of Golgari colors. It has this ability, destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. So here, Ezo Golgari Rat Farm says, all matter, animate or not, rots when exposed to time. We merely speed up the process. Next we have Vigor Mortis. Then lastly we have a split card, statue and status. Now we have our non-basic lands. So we have 4 of the guild kits, or guild gates rather, with 2 art. Then a set also of Golgari Rat Farm, our bonus land for the box. Then lastly, we have our guild team basic land. So 8 swamp and 8 forests with the mark of the Golgari Swarm. So now we can proceed to our pack reveal. So we will reveal what we got from this pack. So here we have an Elf Warrior, one-sided token only. Then we have the Prismatic Piper. We have Moss Diamond foil. Then our first rare, or rather we have our first legendary creature, non-foil, Captain Bargus Wrath. And the next one we have is another legendary creature, Radiant Sarah Archangel. So this is the second I think card named Radiant. So from way back he has also a Radiant Archangel only, which is I think is already in the reserve list now. Then now we have also Court of Ire, our first or our only rare I think. So we will put the legends here. So Court of Ire will also be our fourth word. Although I know Ire, what Ire means, but I think we need to know the proper meaning of this one. So our fourth word is Ire. So Court of Ire is a 5-2 cast enchantment, 3 generic and 2 red. So when it enters the battlefield, we became also the monarch. So this is from the 5-color cycle of courts. Then at the beginning of our upkeep, this deals 2 damage to any target. But if we are the monarch, it deals 7 damage instead to any target. And I think this court is the representation of the court that was in the lore for the set where Oko came from. I think that's Throne of Eldraine. So in Eldraine plane. Next we have a Confiscate, a Siren Storm Tamer, a Trusty Pack Beast, Sky Diamond, Elvish Visionary, a Kinsbale Courier, an Eyeblight Assassin, an Annoyed Altisor, an Impulsive Pilferer, and this will be also our last word. So pilfer will be our last word. So pilfer or pilferer. So impulsive pilferer is a 1 to cast 1/1 creature goblin pirate. So only 1 red to be paid. When this creature dies, we create a treasure token. Then it has the Encore ability, the new ability from Commander Legends. So can be activated with 3 generic and 1 red mana. We can exile this card from our graveyard. Then for each opponent, we create a copy of this creature that attacks that opponent this turn. Then that creature will gain haste. We need to sacrifice that one or those creatures at the beginning of our next end step. So we can only activate this one as a sorcery. So this one is a good Encore is also good for Chaos Commander game. So it will net us 3 tokens to attack each of our opponent. So Encore also goes well with decks like Purpose. So it doesn't care anymore if the token will die, as long as it came into the battlefield. It will deal 2 damage from the Purpose ability. So next we have a Gift of Paradise, and a Kitesail Corsair, Skyraker Giant. Then lastly we have Row of Dark Tidings. So now we already finished opening our box and revealing our pack.